Hi friends, and today's post is about my track. And basically I had a load of photographs on my phone, and I just want to use my photographs and clear my phone. My phone memory is full of rubbish and I haven't got room for making my videos. I use my phone for my editing, for recording, for everything, for watching YouTube, for posting, the whole lot. So my phone memory is full with a load of photographs. So I'm going to show a photographic record and I'm going to talk over of how I built this track. Just a general rundown, give you an idea for those folks that haven't seen my track, how it started. Just to clear that stuff out of my phone. So that's what I'm going to do today. So listen, I hope you enjoy it. It's a short video, just a few minutes. And then I can delete that stuff and make some more room on my phone for more stuff. Thanks for watching. Let's go. Okay, here we go. So this was the garage before I started. An old garage with a broken up foundation. So first thing I had to do was remove this foundation, which I used for building my RC crawler track out in the garden. So nothing went to waste. It's very damp, very old garage. So the first thing I done was I built a wall where the doors were at intentions of putting a window in there. So I have the rubble all cleared out. You can see where I'm going to put the window. I have that small wall. I have put a sand base down. So we're ready for the beginnings of the floor. I was going to get a concrete floor until I got a quote from the local builders, and then I thought, no way. So I decided to do it myself, bad back and all. So I started doing an anti-damp proof course there, and I started laying the wood down for the actual floor. So I'm well on the way to making the floor here. All self-taught this stuff, of course. So I have poles going into the ground and sitting on top of concrete bases. Then the floor sitting onto those poles using bolts. So it's all proper damp proofed and everything. You can see the damp on the right hand side at the bottom of the wall of the original floor, which is very, very bad. There's my table. Started with my table. Had an idea. Sort of an L shape, you can see. So I'm putting my Carrera track. I have Carrera 132, 124 Evolution I run. Evolution. So that was the higher part of the track. That's up near the end. You'll see that later a bit better. So here I'm just marking out with an ordinary marker. Didn't use any type of programs to do this. This is all the old school way, just by knowing the radius and putting a nail in and just putting a piece of thread to a pen and just drawing the radius. This is how I worked it out. You can see I've been getting my deliveries of my Carrera track here, laying it down, and everything coming along very nicely. You can see all them baskets up on the top right hand side. I want to get rid of them as well. They're very ugly, but at the moment I was concentrating on the track. I have my stuff ready, everything being offered. Most of these posts, you'll see there's a cup of tea somewhere. I drink a lot of tea, I do. So we can see the garage is it's coming along. I'm planning away. I want a 4-lane track. So I put in the inside lane first, which is easier because I hadn't got enough track to do the bigger. So the inside lane, then I could see how much room I had to put the outside lane just by adding little bits and pieces here and there to make sure there was roomy enough. So that's what I'm up to there. You can see up the top of a piece of outside Carrera track there, down the bottom. And I want to make sure I have enough room to fit it onto the baseboard. As I said, it was all done in my head and on pieces of paper. No programs because I'm terrible about technology. I've changed the way the sweep were, the way the bends were, changed once or twice. Had it one way, then changed it to another way. And finally came up with something I liked. I still hadn't got my window in at this stage. That's the doors closed up against the wall I'd built. And the baskets were still there on the wall, of course. Maybe I showed you this picture before, but yeah, that's that picture. So here we go. I'm after getting another bit of track. This was mainly made up of 3 Evolution sets and then a load of extra pieces of track, because you know yourself, you only get all one radius curves when you buy your thing. There's my window. Got my double glazed window in. Oh, made a huge difference. So happy with the window fitted. Brilliant stuff. There we are. There's my 4-lane track. A little bit of a rise there on the left hand side. That goes up. That's the far end of the track as you look from the window. and it's a raised section. There's a little bit of a hill there. I had decided this was the final plan. I'm very happy with this. So there's more of an S-bend at the start. I reduced it a bit, just made it a bit of a downhill. So that's the way it looked. Very happy with it. And it was a pleasure to work with a window, a natural light coming in the window. And I could see what I was doing. So I use a OSB board because you can't get, I couldn't get MDF wood or anything like that here. So OSB, which works perfect. And you can see where I've marked out my R2 curves there. That's my catch fencing, which is basically made from what plaster is used for corners when they're plastering walls. That's what I use for my fencing for the famous crash videos. That seems to catch almost every crash, except for the odd one that gets over the fencing, which is perfectly normal. You can see up there, halfway up the straight, is my 2 Carrera power units. And you can see on the right and the left. So it's a bit awkward to do that. I wanted the controllers to be both on the one side. So in a past post, you'll see where I stripped down controllers and I put them all onto the one side closest to where the driver's standing. I run cables underneath the track. So I have a controller at the 4 corners of the track. Okay, so you can marshal, you don't have to keep on running around from one side of the track to the other. So if you have a person in each corner, that can marshal. So if you do have marshals, you'll have even better chance of having races with marshals. You can see I'm putting a bit of paint on the wall there, trying to get it done. I put special damp-proof stuff on the wall that prepares it for painting. So I had already put that on the walls. There's me downhill now, coming down towards the window. I love that straight. It runs very nicely around that straight. And that little bend is technical without being too technical. Beginners can get around it fairly easily. Not too bad. As you can see, I bought my controllers on this left there. I'd moved them. The wiring had moved and moved the controller over to one of the straights. So that worked out very well. I was very happy with that. So that'll be the main control area, the main control point. Lovely cup of tea there as usual. Can't get by without tea. Borders. I wanted borders all around the track. There's a lot of borders. Borders can get quite expensive. And there's how it looks. There it is, they're ready to go, all lit up. I put some stadium lights which are built from bits and pieces that I bought from the local hardware store. So I rigged them up. I built them some wood and some little outdoor lights and stuff like that. They're LEDs, to 12 volt LEDs from a power supply. There's what it looks like from looking in the window from outside. Hopefully it will attract some people. You see down the bottom there, I hadn't got any curtains. I found curtains there in a second-hand shop. I got all them curtains for I think it was between 6 or 10 euros in a second-hand shop. And that is the length they came. They actually came in the exact length I needed, which I couldn't believe. I thought might have been a problem. There's my lino. Had a bit of an adventure getting that. Shop sold out. Told me to never get it again. Went back and they had it. That's me and my neighbour. Who's the neighbour, he does enjoy a race. He raced a few times, but he's a very busy man. I haven't seen much of him. And there's some cars sitting on the track. That's it. You've seen what it looks like at the start, and that's it to the end. I hope you enjoyed this. Just something, use up my photographs, give you a little look at how I did it. Appreciate any likes and subscriptions. Bye.